One of the most inherent problems we recognized with almost all immersive RPGs is the amount of time players are forced to spend in in-game menus. The time spent outside of actual gameplay has really become astounding. The fact is, people buy games to play games. So during the development of Two Worlds 2, we adopted a fairly simple philosophy: keep players playing. To accomplish this, we took a long, hard look at things we could improve upon and really tried to maintain an outside-the-box perspective throughout the entire development of the user interface. The first hurdle we had to overcome were the controllers, more specifically the lack of buttons. So we set out to create a way for players to access the full arsenal of their hotkey assignable objects, no matter how many items or spells were in their inventory. And that's when we came up with the hotkey expansive radial menu. Now, radial menus are nothing new, but they've always been limited to the amount of items game developers could fit in the circle and still be visible enough for players to recognize. So our approach was to incorporate a radial menu that players could access on the fly that contains any assignable items in their inventory. Simply highlight, assign, close, boom, back in action. Now, this system becomes invaluable for mage class players. Just imagine being able to access every spell in your inventory with just a couple of buttons. Now, a little bit about our spellcasting system called Demons. It's based on a pentagram of elements and spell cards. There are 3 types of cards: Carrier, Modifier, and Elemental. Now, Elemental cards define the core effect of a spell, while Carrier cards define how a spell is delivered to its target. Finally, the Modifier cards change the nature of the spell, and that's where things can get really interesting. In the same way that Two Worlds 2 offers you real choice in the use and creation of spells, we wanted to make sure that the ability to play the way you want to was also reflected in every single aspect of the game. We noticed that most games we were playing tended to force players into picking a class before the game had even begun. Melee, magic, ranged weapons, stock characters with stock abilities. Two Worlds 2 is really about letting players dive into that gray area. We give players the freedom to combine traits from all classes to complement their own personal gameplay style. Different armor and weapon sets can even be hot swapped in the heat of battle with the tap of a button. All these innovations really culminate to a combat and gameplay that has that addictive hack and slash feel, but with all the robust number crunching you'd expect from a proper RPG. It's a really fun balance that you don't experience often in a game this size.